I discovered my boyfriend's other family after 6 years together. Here's what I did next. Hey, Reddit. I never thought I'd be one of those people with a jaw-dropping story, but here I am. I, 30F, had been with my boyfriend, Tom, 32M, for 6 years. We met through mutual friends, and things were perfect, or so I thought. We talked about marriage, kids, growing old together, the works. He was my best friend, my rock, and I trusted him more than anyone. But recently, I uncovered something that shattered my entire world. Tom has another family. It sounds like something out of a movie, right? Believe me, I wish it were fiction. But here's how it all unfolded and what I did when I found out. For most of our relationship, Tom worked a job that kept him traveling a lot, 3 days here, 4 days there. He was a freelance contractor, so his schedule was unpredictable, and I got used to it. If he said he had to leave for a job last minute, I trusted him. Sometimes he'd be gone a whole week, but he'd always call and send me cute texts to check in. I'd miss him, sure, but I trusted him fully. Then, things started getting weird. Last month, Tom forgot his laptop at my place. He was rushing out the door, late for his flight, so he left it behind. I didn't think much of it until I got a notification from a messaging app one didn't recognize. I don't usually snoop, but it popped up on his screen. Hey, babe, I love you. Can't wait to see you and the kids tonight. The kids? My heart pounded. I stared at the message, trying to convince myself that it was a mistake. Maybe it was spam, or maybe one of his friends was messing with him. But the curiosity got the best of me. I opened the app, my hands shaking. And that's when I saw her, his wife, with their 2 kids smiling in family photos that looked like they belonged in a holiday card. Tom was in every one of them, holding a baby girl, grinning like the picture-perfect dad. They looked so happy. I couldn't breathe. This was the man I'd planned my life with, and here he was, living another life that I knew nothing about. Part of me wanted to call him right then, demand an explanation. But something in me stopped. I needed more information. I needed to understand why he'd done this, how he'd kept it hidden for so long, and just how deep his deception went. I spent the next few days playing detective. I gathered all the pieces I could without raising suspicion. Social media, search engines, online records, anything to confirm what I'd seen. I was in disbelief, but it was all there in plain sight once I knew where to look. Tom had a different last name in some records, and the town where his other family lived was 2 hours from my place. He'd been shuttling between us for years, managing to maintain the illusion of separate lives. I found her Facebook profile, Lisa. She was a sweet-looking woman, and her posts were filled with pictures of their perfect family. Their oldest kid was 5, meaning Tom had already been seeing her before we'd even started dating. He'd built an entire life with her while making future plans with me. It was insane. And then, I found the nail in the coffin. A post from that morning. Lisa had posted a picture of Tom, captioned, "So proud of my husband for working so hard to take care of us. We're so lucky to have you." I felt sick. That night, I barely slept. I was hurt, betrayed, but beneath the heartbreak was something else, a burning desire for revenge. I waited until Tom got back from his business trip. He walked in like nothing was wrong, kissed me on the cheek, and started talking about how much he'd missed me. I played along, asking about his trip, letting him settle in. But I could hardly contain my anger. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I pulled out my phone, showed him Lisa's Facebook profile, and asked, "So, how's your other family doing, Tom?" The color drained from his face. I had never seen him look so panicked, so lost for words. He stammered, trying to explain, but I didn't let him get a word in. I told him I knew everything and that I didn't want his pathetic excuses. The whole time, he just stood there, wide-eyed, barely managing to say anything except, "I can explain." But there was nothing to explain, was there? He'd been lying for years, playing us both for fools. And if he thought I was just going to let him walk away with his secret intact, he was dead wrong. The next day, I reached out to Lisa. I'll admit, it was hard. I felt like I was delivering the worst news a person could hear. But I also knew she deserved to know who she was married to. I messaged her on Facebook, explaining who I was, how long I'd been with Tom, and included the evidence I'd found. She didn't respond for a day, and I began to worry I'd overstepped. But the following evening, I got a message back from her, and it was as heart-wrenching as you'd imagine. She thanked me, and she told me Tom had spun countless lies, excuses about his work that she believed because she trusted him. She asked if I wanted to meet up, to compare stories and confront him together. I agreed. If there was going to be a reckoning, I wanted front-row seats. We set up a plan. I invited Tom over to my place, acting as if I was ready to forgive him, that I just needed to hear him out. He bought it, showing up with flowers and apologies, ready to try and explain. As we sat down to talk, there was a knock on my door. It was Lisa. Tom froze. His eyes darted between us, his face going pale as he realized he was cornered. Lisa laid into him, demanding answers, yelling about his betrayal and what he'd done to their family. And I sat back, watching him squirm, feeling the satisfaction of watching him face the consequences of his lies. He tried to make excuses, but Lisa and I weren't having it. Finally, after hours of yelling, crying, and his pathetic apologies, Lisa told him she was done. She handed him her wedding ring, and I added, "And don't think you're walking out of here with any part of my life either." He left, utterly defeated, without the two women he'd tried so hard to manipulate. And for the first time in days, I felt a sense of relief. It was over. I was free. It's been a few months since that day. Lisa and I actually stayed in touch, bonding over our shared betrayal and supporting each other through the aftermath. She filed for divorce, and I've moved on, focusing on myself and rebuilding my life without Tom. Looking back, I'm proud that I took action and didn't let him keep lying to both of us. It's crazy how easily someone can lead a double life, fooling not just one but two people who trusted them. If there's one lesson I learned from all of this, it's to trust my instincts. I'd ignored so many small red flags, but now, I know better. As for Tom, last I heard, he's alone and struggling. And honestly, I think he got exactly what he deserved.